Hello everyone. So now we continue with the glucagon. Glucagon, it's a hyperglycemic hormone. It's a peptide hormone. Now the actions of glucagon, it is also known as hyperglycemic hormone because it increases blood sugar level or the blood glucose level. Now which are the actions and how it is going to increase the blood sugar level? It increases the glycogenolysis as well as gluconeogenesis in the liver, and there will be increase in the uptake of amino acids into the liver cell. Other effect, it promotes the lipolysis in the adipose tissue, so lipid breakdown will be enhanced. It decreases the storage of triglycerides in the liver, so storage of the triglycerides in the liver become reduced. Increase free fatty acid into the plasma and increase force of myocardial contraction. It increases the blood flows to the tissue. It decreases the gastric acid secretion. It increases the secretions of insulin and somatostatin. All these are the some other effects of the glucagon, but mainly the main effect, it increases the blood sugar level. And how it is going to increase the blood sugar level? There are two mechanisms. First, it increases the glycogenolysis in the liver as well as it also increases the gluconeogenesis. Now, regulation of glucagon secretion. Whenever there is a decrease in the plasma glucose level, it stimulates the alpha cells of the pancreatic islets of the Langerhans, and there will be increase in the glucagon secretion or glucagon release into the blood. So ultimately there will be increase in the plasma glucagon level, and this plasma glucagon, now this glucagon hormone enter into the liver and it increase the glycogenolysis, it increase the gluconeogenesis as well as it decrease the storage of the triglycerides. So due to this effect there will be increase in the plasma glucose level as well as increase in the fatty acid level. Once the plasma glucose level is increased, so now whatever the triggering factor for the release of glucagon has been subside, that means this factor has been subside, so that the glucose level inside the blood will become normalized. Here the two other factors which affecting the glucagon secretion, increase in the blood amino acid level as well as the exercise. Both of these factors increase the glucagon secretion from the pancreatic islets alpha cells. Okay, so that is the regulation of glucagon secretion. Now the stimulus for the release of glucagon hormone, it is the decrease in the blood glucose level. So once there is a decrease in the glucose level, it having the effect on the alpha cell as well as the beta cell. Decrease in the glucose level will stimulate the alpha cell, and so there will be increase in the glucagon level, and decrease in the blood glucose level inhibit the beta cell, so there will be decrease in the insulin level. So here the increase in the glucagon secretion, and what the glucagon will do, it decrease the cellular uptake of the glucose, because ultimately the main function of the glucagon hormone is to increase the blood sugar level or the blood glucose level. So it decrease the cellular uptake of the glucose, it increase glycogenolysis as well as it increase the gluconeogenesis in the liver. And due to this all of this process, there will be increase in the blood glucose level, and once the blood glucose level is increased, all these mechanisms which are working under control of the glucagon will stop. Now in the conditions when the blood glucose level is increased, in this condition again these increased blood glucose levels having the effect over the alpha cell as well as the beta cell. So when the blood glucose level is increased, it having the negative effect on the alpha cell, so there will be decrease in the glucagon secretion, and increase in the blood glucose level stimulate the beta cell to release the insulin, so there will be increase in the insulin level inside the body, and due to this there will be increased cellular uptake and utilization of the glucose. So that is the mechanism through which the insulin will reduce the blood glucose level. So due to this effect of the insulin, there will be decrease in the blood glucose level, and once the blood glucose level is decreased, So all this effect which is regulated by the insulin has been stopped. All right. Switching between the carbohydrate and fat metabolism. After meal there will be increase in the blood glucose level, so that is the obvious thing. And due to this increase in the blood glucose level, there will be increase in the insulin secretion. And due to this insulin secretion, there will be increased glucose utilization by different type of tissues of the human body. And ultimately, due to this effect, there will be decrease in the blood glucose level. Okay, so that is the after meal condition where the energy source is mainly from the coming from the glucose. Now in between the meal, so that is the after meal condition. Now in between the meal there is decrease in the blood glucose level, and during this time the insulin is not there inside our body, as well as this decrease in the blood glucose level stimulate the glucagon release from the alpha cells of the pancreatic islets. And with the effect of glucagon there will be increase in the blood glucose levels. Now the other substances which also increase the blood glucose level. During severe hypoglycemia there is a release of epinephrine or adrenaline which increase the blood glucose level. And during the prolonged hypoglycemic condition under the effect of cortisol and growth hormone, there will be decrease in the glucose utilization, as well as there will be increase in the fat utilization. So fat becomes the energy source in the prolonged hypoglycemic condition. Okay, so that is the switching between the carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Role of somatostatin. Somatostatin is a hormone which is released from the delta cells of the pancreatic islets. Now what is the effect of somatostatin? It decreases the secretion, absorption and motility of the GIT or gastrointestinal tract, and it prevents the rapid exhaustion of the food. So whatever food we are consuming, it's absorbed as well as utilized in slow manner. So it prevents the rapid exhaustion of the food. Whenever there is increase in the blood glucose level, amino acid level, fatty acid and GIT hormone in the blood, there will be release of the somatostatin. And once the somatostatin has been released, it inhibits the insulin, glucagon as well as pancreatic polypeptides, so that rapid exhaustion of the food material is not possible, and it will take some time, or the process will become slow down. Importance of blood glucose levels inside our body. Brain, retina, germinal epithelium uses only the glucose. So for the brain cells, that means neurons, retina cells and germinal epithelium cells, only source of energy is dependent on the glucose molecule. Very high blood glucose level can cause cellular dehydration, glycosuria, that means presence of glucose or sugar into the blood, osmotic diuresis, damage many tissues like blood vessels. So that is the importance of blood glucose level inside our body.